side, a couple seconds and more difference. But boy, Kyle Busch's team doing a great job. That 16.5 will kill you every time, though.
Let's show you the sequence to give you an idea. Here they come on pit road. Take it away, Andy.
Boy, Kyle Busch doing his job too, getting down to pit road speed, staying as close as he can to Jimmy. They're pitting close together. Jimmy's pitting in front, so they don't have to cross over. See right here, the right front tire coming off, and the tire changer having a problem getting the lug nuts on. Man, that's just a killer. At this point, you're just playing catch up. You'll see 18 car. Kyle Busch just pulls away and drives off from Jimmy Johnson.
And it's now a 7-second difference between those two. Let's go back to the race lead because it's getting good. Here comes Harvick around Tony Stewart. That'll be our 11th lead change here at Michigan today.
Yeah, y'all talk about great pit crews. I like the crew of Kevin Harvick and all of these Richard Childress teams, but the job they've done, but in particular Kevin Harvick and these guys. He told us in the pre-race show that he liked the way this team had been racing most recently, where they were really competitive and in getting themselves in position to win races. That looks like what he's here to do today.
Going by Reed Sorensen, let's go back because it looks like Greg Biffle is slipping a little bit off this pace. What's going on, Mike?
Yeah, Marty, prior to that round of pit stops, the report was the car was loose, and the initial plan for the 16 team was to make a wedge adjustment. Well, that changed when the car came down pit road. Crew chief Greg Irwin made an audible, elected to go with a track bar adjustment instead, and well, it hasn't worked out so well. Let's listen in.
Just for the notes, too loose. A little bit of wedge next time, please. I can barely drive it, I'm so loose.
As you heard Greg say, very loose, lacking rear grip. That could be a problem if they don't get it fixed next time down pit road.
I'm just amazed at how little Greg Biffle's turning the steering wheel to make it go around the corner. That just shows you how loose he is.
Yeah, generally you run that top side so that you don't have to turn the wheel as much and abuse the tires, and you can make good time. But he's turning the steering wheel, not even a quarter of a turn there. It's pretty amazing. That car is extremely loose, and he's very talented to be able to do that.
Well, right now he is 2.8 seconds behind the race leader. Let's move back a little bit further. Whoa, Kenseth gets a little sideways there as he has got the 48 of Jimmy Johnson creeping up on him. That is a battle for 11th. And right in front of these two is Carl Edwards. Remember when he was 24th after that bad pit stop where he got blocked? He has fought back into the top 10. Right side of your screen, you see Casey Kane in the 9 as he gets past Boyer, move Kane to 4th.
Yeah, I'll go back to that left side. I'm still seeing things. You see Jeff Gordon there make a big run and get by Boyer also, but still not so like what I see with Jimmy Johnson and this whole race team. They're making mistakes that we haven't seen over the last 4 years by this race team, and again, adjustments that continue to fall back throughout the race.
I'm impressed with that 24 car, though. They have got, I tell you what they've got a car that's really fast on new tires. They're able to run the bottom of the racetrack. If this race comes down to a short run and that 24 is close to the front, look out.
Last 3 laps, Gordon's the only driver under the 41-second barrier. He is flying right now. Remember, he started 36th today. And here he is knocking on the door for Casey Kane's 4th position, and he goes down low. But the thing, he can almost drive it anywhere, it seems.
Well, there's nobody else running down there. That's the good thing. And Andy and I were talking, and Andy's pointed out a number of times that you see these guys running that high line, and yeah, they're making good time, but we've seen the majority of races won here at Michigan by running the bottom to the middle of the racetrack. That's what Jeff Gordon's doing right now.
He's like the only car I've seen that's able to make passes, I mean quality passes on good cars using the bottom lane of the racetrack or the middle. You see him here. He's definitely lower than the other cars.
Well, while Jeff starts to pull away from Casey Kane, how about if we check in again on the race lead? Because remember, Tony Stewart led about 25 laps, and then he surrendered to Kevin Harvick. Well, Harvick has now opened up a 1.5-second lead. Now he's got some lap traffic in front of him. But as we drop back to the 14, there is Tony also going around some slower traffic. You can see the laps comparison. Let's listen in on the radio.
But where he's beating me right now, I beat him to the center of the corner, but he gets back to the gas full throttle quicker than I can. Okay, good for him.
Yeah, and it's really visible here too. I hope that you can see it on the racetrack. When they're closer together, you can really see it. But Kevin Harvick's just able to really nail the gas. He doesn't roll in, and Tony says he's rolling faster in the center, but you carry that straightaway speed. that really makes a big difference, and that's what Harvick's doing.
Well, there you get a chance to see the gap on Kevin Harvick to Tony Stewart. For Harvick, his last 3 Cup victories were on restrictor plate tracks. His last non-restrictor plate win was back in Phoenix in November of 2006. So right now, as he's got a 2.4-second lead over Stewart, Greg Biffle another 2 seconds back. But watch out for Jeff Gordon, still running the fastest laps of all. Harvick, though, in control as of right now.
Kevin Harvick is out in front. Kevin began this day as the championship leader with an opportunity to clinch his place in the chase if he finishes the day with a 586-point lead over 13th at the end of the race. Well, right now, with Mark Martin falling into 13th place and struggling on the day, Martin running in 30th spot, Harvick in position to clinch a place in the chase. As things stand, and by the way, a win, get him 10 more bonus points and put him that much closer to Johnson and Hamlin in the reseed after Richmond. Speaking of the bubble standings, Clint Boyer.
He is
solid run.
Oh yeah, he's doing what he's got to do. He's been working on this car throughout the day. He's got it handling really good right now. He's up in the 6th position, and his lap times are good. You're within 2/10 of the leader, looking good.
Wow, boy, Greg Biffle goes flying by Tony Stewart there. I tell you, these two guys are going at it. They're trying to run down Kevin Harvick, and both of these cats have super fast race cars. This is going to be a great finish for this race because Jeff Gordon is fast as well.
And just to wrap up the chase bubble story, Mark Martin again started the day 12th in points. He's now 13th in points. He's running in 30th place in this race. Struggled all day, took some damage to his car early, has made a number of pit stops to repair it. And you see Mark Martin falling 67 points off the bubble at the moment as they run. On the racetrack, Jeff Gordon. Speaking of bonus points for winning races in the chase reseed, Gordon 0 for the year so far, and he has been flying.
Oh, he has been flying. He has been the superstar of the day. There's no doubt about that. He's come from the back of the pack all the way up to the 4th position right now. Last time by, fastest car on the racetrack, a 41.08, so he is flat getting the job done out there. He's got to be loving the way his car is handling. And what I like about it, Alan, he's passing everybody in the bottom of the racetrack, and everybody else is up top.
Biffle, Stewart, both reporting loose race cars. Gordon going by Stewart there, picking up 3rd position. So with another round of green flag pit stops approaching and loose race cars, Tim Brewer in our Craftsman Tech Garage going to give us something to watch for on this next set of pit stops. Tim?
Thanks, AB. What the guys are going to be doing is actually running the weight bolt down on the left rear. By running this bolt down, makes it really effective because these corners are such high speed on entry. But by putting wedge in the left rear, you make the left rear wheel heavier as well as the right front. And that's really effective getting into the corners here at Michigan.
So wedge or cross weight, look for those wrenches to be flying on these pit stops, and we're going to see another round of green flag pit stops not all that far away. So let's take a break. We'll come back, get you set for the action on pit road. 74 laps to go. Kevin Harvick, the championship leaders, out in front by 6.5 seconds.
Back here at Michigan, as we take a look at the race lead, it is Kevin Harvick in a Chevrolet up front with Biffle in 2nd place in a Ford. Then another Chevrolet for Jeff Gordon, followed by the Chevy of Tony Stewart and the Ford of Casey Kane. There are 2 Toyotas also in the top 10. A total of 5 Chevys, 3 Fords, 2 Toyotas in that mix. And already some pit stops starting to happen, and he is first of the cycle again, Mike Massaro. It's Juan Pablo.
Yeah, and he's been fighting an extremely loose race car all afternoon long. So much, in fact, there's been 5 pounds of additional pressure built up in the right rear. On the last 2 sets they pulled, they're expecting the same thing this time around. They made a wedge adjustment, a 4-tire change, and Sunoco race fuel for Montoya.
And as he comes back out, there is Kevin Harvick, who has a 6.2 second lead. All right, you know, some of the things that we come up with technologically wise are interesting, and this may be one of those instances because this racetrack has a tendency to become a fuel mileage endeavor. Watch Jeff Gordon's line. He's taking the lower line, obviously, which means the shorter way around the track. Well, we've now been able to figure out how much farther some of these guys are going than others, and this is an interesting comparison.
Yeah, total miles. You can see right there, Jeff Gordon running that low line has been able to run about 3 miles shorter than Kevin Harvick. You know, it's not a big deal, but it is something.
A big deal, you say, about 4 miles to a gallon of fuel, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the race, if he has 4 less miles, does he necessarily have that extra gallon of fuel?
He won't be able to stack that all up for the whole for the end of the race because they kind of reset after pit stop.
Let's listen in on the team communications.
market takeoff was tighter. It's going to get tighter on me. It's starting to right now. Just get too tight. 10-4, 10-4.
Well, right now